Now, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is on the cusp of announcing his presidential bid, scheduled to discuss his ambitions with Elon Musk, who we've just been speaking about. They'll be streaming on Twitter Spaces together in a discussion moderated by tech entrepreneur and DeSantis supporter David Sachs. This is a long-awaited announcement, but to announce his presidency alongside Musk on Twitter Spaces, is DeSantis opening himself up to controversy? Well, I spoke a bit earlier to former White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer. Sean, Ron DeSantis was considered the front runner just a few months ago. Now Trump is in the lead according to the polls. Why has some of the gloss come off DeSantis?
Well, I think President Trump had the opportunity to really take some hits at DeSantis and his campaign and his credibility and his character over the time while he was still presiding over the Florida legislature when he wasn't able to announce a run. And he took advantage of that. He talked about his record. He talked about why DeSantis, in his opinion, wasn't conservative enough, why his policies were out of touch in some ways. He had a free shot over and over again until DeSantis was able to, A, wrap up the legislative session in Florida, and B, change a little law in Florida that was at best questionable, that had required candidates to resign if they were to run for another office.
Elon Musk is going to be hosting a Twitter conversation with DeSantis when he's expected to announce his candidacy. Musk says he isn't endorsing anyone, but clearly he thinks DeSantis will be a better presidential candidate than Trump. He says DeSantis can win. Does he have a point here?
Well, there's a few things that you bring up, Sharri. Number one, can DeSantis win? Yes. I think he could win a general against Biden, but I still think, as you pointed out earlier, President Trump is definitely the favorite when it comes to the nomination. And it's not just about polls. I've been doing a series of videos on YouTube where I've been explaining to people the process, how delegates are selected in the Republican Party. And Trump has a huge advantage when it comes to organization and delegate allocation. And so I explain this in a series of YouTube videos that I've been doing, but that actually, in my opinion, is stronger than his standing in the polls, because he has this ability to manipulate the process and help these state parties craft rules that benefit his campaign. That aside, I mean, look, I think that the DeSantis strategy to announce a bid for president in a Twitter Spaces moderated discussion is interesting at best. I'm not sure that it was the best way to garner the most attention, but it definitely tries to play this idea that he is tech savvy, he's hip, he might play with the younger voters. But remember, in the Republican Party, the bulk of the voters are older. And I'm really not sure that you're reaching the people that are going to be the key grassroots voters.
You said that it's unusual that DeSantis has chosen Twitter Spaces as the platform to launch his candidacy, and I think most people wouldn't even know how to access Twitter Spaces, but maybe he's trying to take advantage of Elon Musk's 140 million Twitter followers. Is this part of the strategy? And are there also risks with taking this path?
Well, look, I think my point would be, it's not, I don't know who Musk's 100 million followers are. We do know that, as I said earlier, the key to the nomination is largely through the early states. You have to go to Iowa, then New Hampshire, Nevada, and South Carolina. So from a Republican standpoint, the question isn't how many you reach, but are you reaching the right people? And I just think at best, the strategy to launch on Twitter is questionable for a number of reasons. As I put a moment ago, it's not just the states that matter, but it's also the age and the demographic of who you're trying to reach. Normally, you want a very scripted announcement. Why? Because everyone's going to cover that. That's the one thing that you can control